Iggy Pop had more to say following his interview with Plasm magazine in 1995. So much so, in fact, that he sent the following fax to journalist Joshua Berger. Please welcome to the stage Benedict Cumberbatch.
The arts in America today are above all else. Successful artists live like gods. They are remote and useless. The painting and sculpture generally offered ranges from coy and cute to incomprehensible and huge. Everybody's sick of it, but it's exactly what its patrons deserve.
Benedict Cumberbatch, why?
Joe Wiley. That's a nice thing for me to say. It's nice to see you too.
What were your favourite letters that you read last night?
Oh God, it is a bit of a blur. I think my favourite one was possibly, I love Jack Lemmon. I love doing that one. And the Seat 29E, about a very disgruntled customer stuck on a plane that's been designed to have a maximum capacity of seats and no consideration for the person whose face is shoved very near the toilet, which was flushing and opening and having sounds emitting from it all night long. And it's brilliant because she's writing it on the flight. And I think it is a lady who wrote it, and she's writing it on the flight. And you can just see the invective, the invention of it growing. And she's very, she builds a stink blanket, as she calls it, which is just one of those sleeping blankets, which she then traps in the overhead compartment to fill, like make a screen. But then people just presume it's something to lean their asses against. So she has this sort of intrusion of odd people's bottoms. It was great fun. It was great fun. And actually someone else was going to read it who didn't make it in time. So I was sort of scrambling backstage going, oh God, what do I do? But yeah, so that was fun for the adrenaline as well as the content. It was great fun.
I missed that last night, but my kids were quoting it back to me this morning. I woke up and they were just quoting that particular one back. Yeah, no, they loved it. You're quite drunk, or she was quite drunk by the end of it. Is that right?
I played it that way.
Oh,
which
wait, were you
helpful.
quite drunk?
I'm not going to comment. My mother might be listening to this. Who I got a happy birthday sung to by the crowd. This is a letter from my mother. I better take my sunglasses off. She won't approve. Dear Benedict, thank you so much for the happy birthday video you filmed last night. It was a mummy's perfect birthday gift. I hope the festival is wonderful. Love to everyone there. Your mum, Wanda. P.S. Don't go down to the valley again, you naughty boy.
And she's babysitting as well, so looking after the kids. That was your payback.
So that was it. Yeah, it was double payback. Thank you, Mum.
Yeah. And what is it about letters that you love?
The variety, the sort of incredible periscope through time, the kaleidoscope of human experience, the difference of voices, and then bringing them alive with a really extraordinary roster of talent. And we've had, a varying mix of not just actors, but also musicians and politicians and writers, and sometimes the people who have written the letters themselves, which has been quite a coup. And there's that Socratic thing of, the written word as opposed to the spoken word, and actually this is a wonderful combination and celebration of both of those things in one. And it's formidable for you as a performer going on, because you get to inhabit this person's life and words just for that brief moment. And letters are such concentrated modes of communication. Talking of the slow movement now, it's when everything is just very considered, and for that you get some of the richest of writing and communication, and it's a joy to perform, and they have such different tones that curating them is part of the fun of this event. It's how to mix the mood board of the audience a bit, and it's palpable out there, and we've people really go for it, sometimes just as themselves, or they characterize them or do accents or attitudes, and it comes alive. It's really good fun.
What have been the great letters of your life that you've received or you've written?
Well, I hate to make it all about my mum, but when I was at school, she wrote me the most extraordinary letters, and she's a very fine artist, and she used to do these fantastic cartoons and drawings and illustrations in amongst the beautiful, beautiful handwriting that is hers by nature. And I felt that before I was at school, before the age of, really the internet as well as mobile phones. So that was my form of communication, and it was as important writing back. And I used to write, I sort of returned the favour a bit at school, but very much it was more about me receiving something then. I wrote a lot of letters when I was travelling, and I remember just filling these airmails up with the tiniest sort of microdot handwriting, this tiny little illegible stuff that you need, not microdot, what I mean, microfilm. Oh dear, I'm talking of the festival. that wasn't something that happened last night.
But it's an outpouring of love, isn't it? And between the two of you, those letters.
Yeah, they really are. And also, I was just trying to compound as much of this incredible experience I was having in a far-flung place, thousands of miles away from home, and trying to bring that alive to Mum through words and Dad, obviously. So I'm not leaving him out of this. I did address it to both of them, a singular correspondence with my mum, poor Dad. But yeah, it was. I remember getting a real kick out of just sitting down and doing that, and it was a way of diarising the event as well, and what was happening to me, what I felt about it. And they're wonderful artefacts in themselves, just the paper, the ink, the kind of preciousness of that, because they are, they're finite, it's a shame. I've had some extraordinary emails, really extraordinary correspondences, and correspondences back and forwards, and every now and again I'll search for the name of the person who sent it to me to have a look, but it's not the same. It's not the same as having it in your hand. And so it's part of what we're celebrating. And we try to. It isn't just having a good time doing something. We're trying to raise money and awareness about literacy and for charities, and to sort of foster that awareness of what is a dying art in a way, and we don't want it to become something that's a sort of a sideshow to how we communicate the rest of our lives. I think it's a very positive thing to encourage people to do now, as well as a 140 character tweet, which obviously, as these answers indicate, I would be awful at.
Do you have a pen? Do you like writing?
I do like writing, and I remember when I was first made a godfather, that was the first present I gave to my infant goddaughter, something she probably couldn't hold in her hand, let alone use until many years later, but it felt like, it's a start, and I do own a very nice pen, which my godfather, funny enough, gave me as well. So yeah, I think it's a lovely way to enjoy what a pen is, obviously, to make it something very special, but whatever it is, it could be a biro or a stubby bit of lead, it doesn't matter, just whatever you've got at hand. And it's just the act of sitting down and the hand-to-eye coordination of your thoughts transmitting, not spoken, not typed, but there's just a smaller delay, and you're crafting the words. You're not relying on a digital program to make an impulse or a finger hit on a keyboard make something, which is also wonderful. And
it's almost a comparison between vinyl, isn't it? It's
a little bit. And I think there's a sort of there's rightfully a swing back towards having more attention on that now, which is great in all forms of culture.
Yeah, let's talk about music. So choose a song for us to play now on the radio, please. You're obviously a huge music fan.
No, I do. I'm just kind of going through a crazy list of Magnificent, She Says, by Elbow.
You love that band?
Yeah, I do love that band. I love that man. They're very special. Good thing to have in our lives.